Okay, picked some tomatoes from the garden, and I had a couple. They've been sitting here for a couple days, so I have a couple that turned color, so I'm going to pull them out. And we're going to weigh them and see how many we got. Okay. Put that on there. See how much that weighs, and that weighs about 6.5 ounces, 6.5 about. Okay, we got about 6 pounds. Okay, I've already washed these and thrown them back in and I took the stems off. Okay, back here I got some of my sweet peppers. I just took 3 of them. And then 3 onions, and I'll probably use a couple cayenne and a couple Hungarian. We'll chop them in. Those are chopped up and washed. And now in the food processor they go. And I'm going to do the same thing with the green tomatoes, but I'm going to core them, and we're going to do them in batches. I didn't have to add these peppers, Hungarian, cayenne, and there's a little Hungarian, but I don't have to add these, but I'm gonna, and I'm not going to add a lot, just a little bit, just enough to give it a little flavor. Okay, I want to coarse chop these. They'll cook down. There. Okay, I didn't get my cheesecloth out, but I'm going to put them in here, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt to it. And we're going to let that drain. And that's my peppers there. Peppers and onions and a few hot peppers. And it looks like I might have missed one, so I'm going to put that back in the chopper for our tomatoes. Cleaned and cored. And then I'm going to dice them up and throw them. The last one was a little red, but it looked like it was starting to ripe. But that's okay. It's only one, and it's done. So now we're going to go to the food processor and grind it. Okay, I put it in the strainer. And we're going to leave it set for about half an hour. I'm going to put a little bit of salt on this, and then I'm going to put a little bit of weight on there. So I'm going to leave it set for about half hour while I get my jars all washed, and then sterilize them on the stove and steam up, and we're going to sterilize them, and we'll be back. Okay, to this bowl, I'm going to add this. It's been in there a half hour. We'll be back. That's how much liquid we got. Alright, to this I'm going to add some dill weed. I'll probably do about a tablespoon of dill weed. You can do celery seed or whatever you may wish. I'm just going to add some dill weed. I'm going to add some mustard seeds. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of canning salt. You can add whatever you wish to this. If you want to do pickling spice, go right for it. So we got about 2 tablespoons of pickling salt, or canning salt, and we're going to add 5 cups of sugar. Right here's a heaping pour. So I'm going to do half of it and mix it. There's a lot of easier ways to do this, but this is the way I was taught, so I don't think I'm going to add any more sugar. Looks sweet enough, but it's all going to go down. Now we're going to cook this down, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to add 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Two cups of cider vinegar. And then we're going to get a lot of liquid off them tomatoes, so we're going to, not going to sit by the stove, it's too hot over there. We want to sit by hot stuff. We're going to bring this to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, we'll be right back. Once you get that at a boil, 5 minutes. Set your timer for 5 minutes. Just give it a stir, and then the last 30 seconds I took out about 5 hot jars and tipped them upside down on the towel. This one's ready. I got one over here ready. Our timer should be going off here shortly. Here's our timer right here. And we're at about a second. There it goes. Okay. Set off burner. Now I do have a ladle for canning, but I'm going to use a slotted, sterile, clean, slotted spoon. I put it in with my water. So that way I can try not to put all the brine in yet. We're going to scoop this in here. And I'm using regular mouth jars because that's all I have. You can use wide mouth if you wish. I don't know how many jars I'm going to get out of here. I cannot remember. I wrote down wash and sterile 12 pint jars, so I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get 12. And I broke one. Ooh. Okay. Let's use our pokey and get it down. So this is my pokey. It's been in the hot water. Let's see if we can move this so you guys can see. And what I'm trying to get is a 1/4 inch headspace when I fill up with the brine. And then I still want to use my pokey to make sure when I get the brine in there to make sure I get all the air bubbles out. So we'll move this out of the way and then get to our next one. We'll be added some brine. I'm only doing 2 for right now, and I want to get them in the canner so they stay nice and warm. So we're going to use our pokey here to make sure. I call it canny pokey. Alright. So I think I can add just a little bit more liquid in there. We want to make sure to get all them air bubbles out. That's very important. And I'm using my ladle, my canning ladle, to get the juice or the brine out. Let's see what that is. Yeah, there's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and poke it one more time. Rather be safe than sorry, you know. Okay, now I'm going to do that. Wipe your rim off. Wipe it really good. You want to make sure it's nice and clean. Nice and clean with no caffeine. If that makes sense. And then we'll get a rim on there. And this is ready to go in the canner. That's one. Okay, we got a good boil, so we only got 5 out of that. So that's not bad. That's all I really need. Alright, we'll probably do more because we got a lot more green tomatoes and red. And then just put a lid on it. We got it boiling, so put a lid on it, and we're gonna set the timer for about 25 minutes. What I'm gonna do is remove it from the heat. Get all my stuff out of the way. And we'll leave it set for about a minute. About a couple minutes. And then we'll pull them out. This is a clean towel. It's old. So it's been washed and everything. Okay, so we'll get our lifters and start taking these out. Be really careful. And remember, when I got ready to process these, I had about 1.5 to 2 inches of water in it. I don't tip these sideways because you don't want to break any seal or anything. And grab your jar underneath, remember. So I only got, what, 5? Maybe 6 out of there. Five. So we only got 5. And it's been going for 25 minutes, so they'll be popping here soon. Okay, folks. There is our kicking sweet relish. Okay, I picked some cucumbers from the container garden, and I got some over there I'm cutting up to make for cream cucumbers, and then I got these too. So, and then over here I picked some tomatoes. So, a couple ain't ripe yet, but that's all right. And then I'm getting ready to make my cream cucumber.